Very good morning, all of you. In our previous lecture, we have discussed about the linked list class and the vector class. We have seen what is enumeration interface, right? Then we have seen how we can create that user-defined uh, classes object we can add into array list and into the linked list, right? This is what we have discussed. Now, what we'll see a few more examples today and a few differences today between those classes, right? That is only the remaining part into this collection classes, right? And we will be able to finish this unit today. All the content and programs are taken from Java Teacher. I hope I'm audible and my screen is visible to you guys. Okay. Fine. I would like to show you again this hierarchy. Here we have seen one of the example that is related to priority queue, right? Few examples of array list, linked list, vector class. We have seen stack, right? Then we are going to see today hash set and this tree set and few examples, right? And how to convert array to list and list to array and few of the differences. This is what we will do today. Okay, so let's see some example first. Yes, here in NetBeans. Just a second. Sorry for the disturbance. Okay. So here you have seen those classes, right? And now we'll see the differences here. Yeah. Benefits of generic collection, benefits of collection framework, and so on, right? So very first we'll see what are the benefits of generic collection. If you are having generic collection means what? You can pass any of the data type, right? That is only the benefit. And for each and every, say suppose if you wish to create logic for the sorting, right? You want to sort the elements, whether they are the elements of array list, whether they are the elements of linked list, it is of stack, it's of queue. You are not concerned about it, but you just want to sort the elements. So for that you can do this, right? You can easily sort the elements, whether it is of any of the data type. Okay. Right. So if the programmers are using the generic class, they don't require the typecasting, right? They don't require the typecasting. They can directly do this thing. It is a type safe and it can be checked at the time of compilation. So whatever the data type you are providing, that will be checked at the compilation time. Say suppose you are creating array list of string, but you are adding the elements of integer. Then at that time it will check at the compilation time that you have created array list of strings, so don't give integers, right? It it simply provides the stability of the code by detecting bug at the compilation time. So runtime you won't face any kind of errors, right? Runtime you won't get any kind of errors. Instead of that, everything whatever you are getting, that errors are at the compilation time only, right? So that is known as stability of code. Then benefits of collection framework. If you are using this collection framework, then what you can do? So Java Collection Framework offers a highly efficient and effective data structure that enhance the accuracy and speed of the program. Why? Because you don't have to apply the logic. You just need to use the methods, right? And it would be accurate. Why? Because if you are doing the sorting program, you have to check your logic once, right? That whether they are actually sorting the elements or not. But here, whatever the elements or whatever the methods are to be provided, they are working very perfectly, right? You just need to use those methods. That's it. So you are actually saving your time. Why? Because reusability of code. If already some of the things are available, then why to create those things again and again, right? So the program developed with the Java collection framework is easy to maintain. A developer can mix the classes with other data types that result in increasing the reusability of code. Just you said no that in this array list or into this vector, we have seen one program where you were adding integers, then doubles, float. So it is, you can say, the mixture of all the classes. You can create one array list, one linked list, or one of the vector with all the different data type, right? So that is the main thing. Okay. Then here the Java collection framework enables the programmers to modify the primitive collection types the way they like. So here they can create this integer, not int, but integer, that is integer class, right? So according to your primitive data type, you are having collection of the classes, right? So you can create according to that. So Java collection framework supports that thing, right? Then few differences between this iterator and list iterator enumeration, what is queue and dequeue, what is stack and queue, and so on, right? So very first, iterator and list iterator. You have used both if you remember, right? You have used both. If you are using list iterator, you have to create reference of list iterator, right? List iterator, then ITR equals to whatever here your array list or the linked list over where you wish to set your iterator, its object, say suppose it is AL. Then AL dot, you are writing here list, sorry, L should be small, list iterator. That is the method, right? That's what you are using. And if it is only iterator, ITR equals to new, then AL dot iterator. That is the method name, right? So this is what you used to write, right? But they both are iterators only. I mean, they are a kind of pointers only, right? But the iterator can traverse the array elements in forward direction only, where list iterator can traverse the array elements in backward as well as in forward direction, right? It can be used in queue, list, and set, right? Because in queue, list, and set, you can have forward, you can work, or into the backward, right? Sorry, in the forward direction only, because in a queue, if it is a singly ended queue, right? So you have to move only forward, like your front and rear elements, they are the pointers, right, that you are moving. In set also they are using iterator, right? And it can be used only in list because name itself says it is list iterator, so we are using only in list. But here this we are using in queue, list, and set all. It can perform only remove operation. It can perform add, remove, and set operation while traversing the collection. Huh? This is very important. When you are traversing, at that time only it can add, remove, and set the operation. But when you are traversing, it can only remove this, whatever the element is there, right? If you wish to delete the element while you are traversing, means in while loop you used to write something, no? In while it is a element, I mean whatever itr dot has next, you are writing like this, so it means you are traversing. So during the traversal you can only remove the elements in iterator, but if you are using list iterator you can even add, insert the element at the particular location, and as well as you can remove. Fine. Then what is the difference between enumerator and iterator, means enumeration and iterator. They both are interfaces only, but why we are using enumeration with the vector? So iterator can traverse both legacy as well as non-legacy element. Now, what is legacies and non-legacy? As we have discussed, if you remember, we were having array list class as well as the vector class, right? So if it is array list class, that is known legacy class because it was introduced after few versions, right? Where vector was there. I was disconnected. Till what you have listened. We were on this iterator and enumeration. So till what you have listened. Hello. Anyone? You guys are listening me, right? Hopefully. Still non-legacy. Okay. So here these elements, they are working with legacy and non-legacy both, right? And here the vector class, that is what legacy element, and non-vector, that is sorry, yes, here the vector class is legacy class, and array list, linked list, they all are non-legacy classes, right? So iterator can work with both, right? Legacy classes, non-legacy classes, both. It will work with both. And iterator is fail fast. Enumeration is not the fail fast. Iterator is very slow compared to enumeration, right? And here the enumeration is very faster than this iterator. Here, whenever you are traversing, iterator can perform remove operation while they are traversing. Means in this while condition, they can traverse. While they are traversing, it can remove some elements. But in enumeration, you can only traverse. You cannot add elements. You cannot remove the elements, right? You can do only legacy classes. That what I said. No, Shekhar. It was there from the beginning, and it can work with here the collection framework, as well as it is having many more methods, right, into the legacy class. which is the vector class. And array list class and linked list class, they are introduced after a few version of Java. We have seen this difference. Was there here, no? Array list class, and what is the difference between vectors? So array list class is not legacy class. It is introduced in JDK 1.2, where the vector is legacy class. This is what we have seen. Anyways. So here, enumeration can perform only traverse operation, right? They cannot remove the elements, they cannot add the elements, right? This is what we have seen. Okay. Then Q and DQ. You already know what is Q, right? You have already learned this into the data structure. So it is called a single ended queue, where you are having only 2 pointers at the first end, right? Front and rear. And here this is called double-ended queue, right? From both the end, you can insert the element as well as you can remove the element. Elements in the queue are added or removed from one end only. Here elements of this queue are added from either, can be added and removed from both the end. This is here the less versatile. This is more versatile because you can add and remove from anywhere. That is why, right? So these are the differences what you have already learned. What you have already learned in your data structure subject, right? This is just for your reference. I have put this, so I'm not going in deep. Fine. Okay. Then the working principle of the stack is LIFO. You know already, last in first out, and the working principle of queue is FIFO. One end is used to perform insertion and deletion of the element. Here, one end is used to perform insertion and another end is used for deletion the elements, right? So here only a single entry point is there, and here in queue you can have you can say the 2 entry points, right? You are having 2 pointers for insertion and deletion. Okay. It uses 1 pointer, it uses 2 pointer. It does not have any kind of variant, but in a queue you can have a circular queue, doubly ended queue, and so. It's easy to use, it is not easy to use because you have to maintain lot many pointers here if it is again DQ, right? So here the program would be somehow complex. This is very easy to use. Only single point is there, right? And we have seen this here stack example. Which method we have used in stack to insert the elements? Yes. Which method we were using to insert the elements? Yes. Yes, push method, right? Correct. Push and pop, they are for inserting and removing the elements, correct. Fine. So here we have finished with the theory, but we'll see the programs. Linked list demo, where I've added some shorting. This is what I've shown to you, right? No, descending iterator. Right. Then this is what we have seen for the vector. This is what the vector demo 2 we have seen or not, or it is remain to see. You have seen, I think, right? No. Yes. We have seen this vector, right? Wherever we have seen enumeration, then we have seen this array list that is user defined, where you are passing the student class and all, right? Then linked list also we have seen. Enumeration demo also we have seen. Stack and queue we have seen. Okay. Then array to list. Okay. How we can convert array to list and list to array, that we need to see. And one more thing I have Sorting of the elements I have done somewhere. Yes, yes. Okay. How you can sort the elements? How you can do the sorting of the elements? So here, if you wish to sort the elements, see here I'm having one of the array list, right? And in this array list, we have added a few of the elements here, right? And now if I wish to sort the elements, what I need to do, this sort method is, uh, you can say that is a static method. So you can call it directly with the class name, that is collections. That is the class name. So collections dot sort, and whose element you want to sort, so that is of this array list object, means AL. So that you need to pass here, and you can simply get this. You can get this traverser or this sorting of the numbers. Just check for the output. Yes. So it is, you can see here what you have entered: Amit, ZZZ, Vijay, Kumar, and the Sachin, right? But they will sort your all the elements, right? So like Amit, then Kumar, then Sachin, then Vijay, and Z. That will be at the last. So this is how you can sort. So here you just need to use the methods, right? The same you can apply for integer also. That what you have applied for string, the same you can apply for integer also. So here you have added integer values, right? 21, 11, 51, 1, and so on. So you can add the integer values directly like this, but you have inserted values like this also. Why? Because over there you have not specified what is your vector is. Your vector is for string, your vector is for integer, your vector is for float. No, your vector is generic. It is for all the different kind of data type. So every time you have to specify that whatever I'm inserting this one, that is a kind of integer, right? That is why. Otherwise, if you are only using integer list, fine, so you can directly insert the elements like this, because whatever I have given, that is integer only, because I said my array list is of integer. I hope you are getting, right? Okay. So this is what we are doing. Okay. Now here again you can sort this list too. You need to just pass here, and you can sort the elements. So for that also you got this 1, 11, 21, and 51. It is in sorted manner, which you have added in any of the order. Fine. So it's very easy to sort. So it could be asked a single program that could be asked that which will sort the elements. So you don't have to apply logic for the sorting. You just need to use one method, that is sort. Okay. Is it clear? Fine. Now we will see how you can convert array list to array to list. Okay, whatever you are having, that is array, and you are converting into list. So how you are doing? First you are having array of string. You are having array of string, then the square bracket, it means that is array. Okay, and then here you are having few of the elements, that Java and Python and PHP and C++. This is what you have given. Now what you are doing is, you are simply printing the array elements. So how you can print the array elements? Because they are the single elements, either you have to create here one for loop, right? And which will run till the size of array, and then you can print. But the another way that you can print this array directly in system.out.println. So for that you are having arrays class. Arrays, not only array, this arrays, that is the default class, means you are not creating it, it's built-in class. With that, here you are having one of the method which is toString. right? So you are converting this whole array into two string and it will be printed. So it will be printed into the square bracket. You have seen such kind of output if you remember, right? In the square bracket, it will print all these elements, Java, Python, PHP, and C++, right? Now you are converting your array to list because this is your string array and you are converting into list. So for that, what you are doing, you are taking one of the list of string, list equals to new array list of string. Okay. Now in this for each loop, you are just traversing through your array first. Okay. So string, because your data is of string, then any of the variable name, I have given some suitable name because that is here the programming language name, right? So lang colon array, because you wish to traverse through this array. And inside this for each loop, you are doing what? You are adding each and every element to the list. Simple. You are adding each and every element to this list because right now your list is empty one. No elements are there inside this, right? But you will add those elements of this lang. First time it would be Java, so it is inserted onto this list, it is added to this list. Second time the loop will run, there will be Python, it will be added. Third time PHP will be added, and so on, right? And now you can print your list, even you can print plus list only, so it will again show you in the square bracket, right? You can print any of the vector, you can print any of the array list, you can print any of the linked list like this. You can directly do this plus and this, so it will show you all the elements in the square bracket. Fine. I hope this is clear. How you can convert array to list. It could be asked in exam, right? How you can convert it. Is it clear or not? Hopefully yes. Hello. Yeah. Okay. Then here the next is how you are converting list to array. List to array. That is the another part. Okay. So first you are having one list of string, right? Fruit list equals to new array list. Here you can leave it blank or you can give it as string. Okay. Then you are adding some fruit names into this list, fruit list. Fine, you have added. Now finally you are having your list. Now what you are doing is, I was just showing this. Okay. Now what you are doing is you are converting this list into the array, right? So for that I'll take one string array because all my elements are of string. So I have created one array, string square bracket array equals to, then fruit list dot to array. That is the method to array. If you remember, inside this array list class we have seen this method to array. So I'm converting my list to array. So fruit list, that is my list name, dot to array, and here I really don't know what is the size of this list. Here how many elements are there? 4 elements, 5,000 elements, 6,000 elements. We cannot count it. So generally what we are doing is, whenever we are creating array, we are writing like integer a, then square bracket equals to new integer of 5. So here you know what is the size of this array, that is 5. You know this thing, right? But here what will happen now? You don't know the size. So what is the size? And for that you are simply taking here new string and fruit list dot size. So this will return you the size of your list, and whatever they are returning, that is what my array size. That is what my array size. Whatever the size of your list, that will be size of my string array. I hope it is clear why we are writing this new string of this. So it is ultimately what you are doing is, you are doing like this, string array equals to new string of what size. You need to write here size. So either you can take the size here like integer size is equals to fruit list, whatever my list name is, dot size, which will return the size here, right? So that you are taking into integer size and now you are providing the size. So this is what ultimately you are doing. I hope now I have elaborated these steps. Okay. So finally we are printing the array and we are printing the list. How you can print the array? Arrays dot toString, and you can print whatever your array variable name. And how you are printing your list? Only plus and then the list object. So that's it. So it will print both the times what are the elements inside it. Fine. So have you seen this? Okay. Any doubt in this? I hope it is clear. Okay. Fine. Then what you will do is next time first showing you two different examples, but after that you will check for what is the hash map, what is hash table, what is a linked list set, and what are the differences between them. That is your task to do, right? They are not in syllabus, but still we will see the differences. It could be asked in exam. Fine. So what is here the hash set? So I have taken one of the class here. I'm taking public static void main. Inside that I've created one hash set of string. I've created one object equals to new hash set that is of string. Now I'm adding in my set few elements like Ravi, Vijay, Ravi, Ajay. Now I'm traversing through the elements. So I'm taking iterator here, iterator of string itr equals to set dot iterator. Then while itr dot has next, what I'll do is itr dot next. Now what is the difference? How many elements will be printed here? I mean, I have inserted 4 elements, but how many elements will be inserted there? That is my question. Yes. How many elements? Question is, I have inserted 4 elements. So in my set, how many elements will be there? Now here the question again I'm asking in a different way. I'm saying that hash set will allow the duplicate values. Now you are getting. Hash set will allow the duplicate elements. No, it will not allow the duplicate elements. So I have added 4 here, but Ravi is 2 times. So only 3 elements will be there. You are getting this? Vijay, Ravi, and here the Ajay. So if the element is second time written, first one will be removed and this new element will be inserted in that order. Are you getting what the hash set will do? In short, hash set will not allow duplicate elements, where array list, linked list, vector, they all are allowing duplicate elements. Fine? Yeah. Okay. Yes. Then tree set. Here in tree set, have you seen this hierarchy? Here this tree set is actually implementing sorted set. That is one kind of interface, right? Which again extends set interface. But sorted name itself says what this tree set will do. What this tree set will do. Yes. Everyone, what it will do? The name itself says sorted. Means what? It will sort all the elements. Fine. So here in tree set, what I have done, I have taken here tree set. You just need to change the class name. Otherwise, you can add with this add method. You can iterate, means you can traverse through the same, right? Only here the name has been changed. It is a tree set now, right? And you have added same elements, Ravi, Vijay, Ravi, Ajay. Now when you will run this, it will be there in sorted manner. Fine. So first here Ajay was inserted at the last, but still, according to A, it is sorted at first. So Ajay, then Ravi, and then Vijay. In tree set, you will get the elements in sorted manner. Is it clear? Yes or no? All right. Yes. Okay. Now, what is your task is that what I have already assigned to you. You have to search about this and differences. What this hash map will do, what this hash table, what will be there, how many number of arguments are there, what method we are using to insert into the hash map, that I'll ask the questions, right? What is linked hash set? Only you can just change the name, that's it. And what is the difference between only hash set and linked hash set? That you need to search, right? So few differences. So do this task I'm giving you as an assignment is for right now. Finish it. I'm waiting. Yes, anyone have searched about it? What is the hash map and why we are using it? Any one of you can write your answers. Hello, you guys are sleeping or what? Please write down your answers here. What is hash map? Hash map takes a duplicate value, not duplicate key. Yes, correct. Very nice. Correct. It cannot take the key value as the duplicate one, but instead of that, it can take duplicate value for the elements. Right. Hash map is unordered collection. Okay. Okay. Then via which method you are inserting the elements into it? Via which method? There is not add method, right? Instead of that, yes, it is put. Correct. Via put method, you are inserting the elements into it. Yes, right. Then what is the difference between this linked list has set and only has set? Please search that also. Okay. Fine. Have you searched the difference? The major difference between hash map and linked hash map is ordering of the element. Okay. No, here the difference between linked has set, linked has set, and only has set. That what example I have shown you. Difference between that two. Ordering of the elements. You guys are just doing copy paste, huh? Yes, hash map can store one null key and many null values. Yes. Tree map cannot contain null keys but may contain many null values. Okay. HMAP takes constant time performance for the basic operation like get and put according to Oracle Docstream guarantee. Mhm. Yes, hash set can be or not be, hash table can synchronized. Mhm. Okay, fine, good, fine. So here we have finished our collection classes, right? And from the next time, we'll start with the applet. That is our last unit of OOPG. Fine. Okay, good. Fine. You may write your numbers here. You may write your number and you may leave. Allah, you can write your number. Daraj, Fatima, Isaac, Haisun, Maima, Ravi, Salambat. Please write your number and you may leave.